The new era of Oregon football began here at Marshfield High School in Coos Bay, Oregon. In 1990, a skinny sophomore was handed the starting quarterback job. And while he was a fine athlete, what made Mark Helfrich special went beyond his arm or mechanics. What made him special had more to do with his surroundings and his ability to absorb them.
You may not be able to see them with the naked eye, but they're most certainly there. Values. At times found in the form of a relic from days gone past. But more often, they are stored away on the voyages these men take.
With our kids, we always bring back the bring your lunch pail to work. You know, the hard hat, the lunch pail, the loggers, the fishermen.
They are found in the faces and in the sweat of the men who come and go from this dock. And soon, they will be on display at Autzen Stadium, when one of Coos Bay's sons leads the Ducks out of the tunnel onto the field as their new head coach.
The people there are the greatest people in the world. You know, hardworking, look you in the eye, integrity. You know, if they tell you something, it's done. And I think that's something that I've taken with me.
He's kind of the old school, which is the Coos Bay that I like.
And Mark is reflective of the way things were. Hard work, passion, dedication, selflessness.
Helfrich is the first native Oregonian to serve as the Ducks head coach since John Warren did so in 1942. He grew up in this humble Southern Oregon home with his mother Linda, his brother John, and his dad, Mike Helfrich, a former Duck offensive lineman from the early 60s.
Big guy, but a man of very, very few words.
Mark's father fit Coos Bay well. He relied on his actions, more than his words, to express how he felt. Something the two brothers spoke about openly with family friends at their dad's funeral.
He said, you know, I hardly ever remember Dad saying to either Mark or I love you.
I don't think he ever said that, ever once. Not that I can remember, and I don't say that with any, you know, angst in any way, shape, or form, but no question the guy was full of love. He wouldn't want to tell you that, but he was.
His quiet demeanor did not mean he was antisocial. In fact, he was a banker, but think of him more in the mold of Jimmy Stewart's character in It's a Wonderful Life.
I've seen him around, you know, a billionaire, and I've seen him around a homeless guy, and he acts exactly the same.
These were the values being passed on to his sons. Values that seemed to aid Mark in jump-starting his high school football career.
He became our quarterback, I think game 6 his sophomore year, and is the only sophomore that I had start as in high school, and I was a head coach for 38 years.
You see, it wasn't a cannon arm or blazing speed that got him the job.
Not the most physical, not the most talented of athletes.
It was the way he adapted to the people around him, much the same way his dad adapted to his clientele.
His abilities to get along with the rest of his teammates. He was accepted by his peers, or not really his peers, the older guys on the team.
That was a characteristic he was also known for beyond the football field.
In most high schools, there are set cliques, and you belong to one or the other, and you really can't cross those lines. Well, Mark was one of the few students that's able to go from one clique to another.
As well known as he was for his ability to identify with others, what he was not known for, ironically, was what he did on the field as the team's quarterback.
Did he have a great big touchdown pass that was more important than another? I don't remember.
I don't know. I can't think of one game where it just blows me away.
And that's because what made him special wasn't any one pass or any one victory. What people remember about Helfrich, the quarterback, has more to do with desire. A yearning to understand the game usually reserved for coaches.
His dad, Mike, brought him out every Sunday, and we went through the films so I could go through the films and be critical of performance and encourage him to get better.
I think that's kind of where Mark got the bug.
It was not rare to see him scratching stuff out and making up plays, whether it's basketball or football or whatever.
At the the conclusion of his high school career, it was decision time. He had an offer to walk on for his beloved Ducks, but spurned it, heading to Southern Oregon University instead.
I think when it really came down to it, I wanted to play, and I just didn't, at the time, foresee being able to play very much. That's the realist in me.
When he arrived, the reaction was more of the same.
He didn't pass the eye test. You wouldn't look at him and say, that guy can play ball. Yeah, I mean, kind of skinny and not real muscular, but just could read a defense.
That mental advantage helped him break most of the school's quarterback records at the time. But his career at the school was hampered by injuries his junior and senior years. On the surface, it seemed like his football days were about to come to an end.
He was going to be a doctor, so I thought, well, this is one kid that really has the skills. He could do that.
I thought that was his plan. I thought that was his goal. He continued on to Southern Oregon, still thinking that biology was his way out. He was going to become a doctor.
He phoned me his senior year in college and said he was going to put that off.
Placing it on hold so he could head to Europe, of all places, to keep playing.
And I was kind of, unfulfilled, I guess, in a way, competitively. I wanted to keep playing. I wasn't good enough to, to play in the NFL or CFL or anything like that.
Helfrich returned to the States, but was still not ready for a career in a science lab.
And then a few years later, he came back and he said, Mrs. McGuire, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm going to be a coach. And I'm going, oh no, how many people are successful as a coach?
He got his start at his alma mater as a grad assistant. From there, he ventured north for his first appearance at Autzen, another graduate assistant position. But it didn't take long before someone noticed his talent.
Cutter's telling you after about week 5, he said, this guy can break down film as well as I can, or better than I can.
He followed Dirk Cutter to Boise State and then Arizona State, before heading to Colorado for his first offensive coordinator job. He returned to Eugene when Chip Kelly was promoted to head coach. And then, just 4 short years later, it was his turn.
Coaching at Oregon is the pinnacle for me.
Now Helfrich is preparing for a voyage of his own, an opportunity to showcase what he has reeled in over the years, a chance to show he is not his father, that he's not Chip Kelly. Nor is he a reflection of the loggers and fishermen he grew up around. Mark Helfrich is all of them.
You learn different things from different people, being around, whether it's a superior, a teacher, a coach, that you learn things from people.